Go down just like Holy Mary. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is the real Randy Chavez coming at you today with OMI is my homie number 72. New exchange, VeVe news, bull run imminent. Rates have been cut. Dr. Stuff, my fabulous co-host. How you doing?
Good. Is it 72 or 73? Because I put 73.
Oh, I might have messed up. It might have been me. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi.
What's up, Dashi? What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
Comment down below if you know anyone that has been taken by the Rapture today, because I didn't see anything different. How about yourself? Have you seen any?
Wait, so who predicted the Rapture today? Who is that? What group?
I think it started with some priest in like South Africa, and he was like, he said that God was speaking to him, and people were like on TikTok, and they were just like selling their cars and saying goodbye to their dogs, because like apparently in some religions dogs aren't allowed in heaven. And it's like, oh my God, this. And then you had the other side that's saying like, I have a plan to put a bunch of clothes on my lawn as if they were me and my family to make people think that it was happening. And I mean, there's still a few hours left, but you know, it hasn't happened yet, I believe. So I think we're good.
Listen, we still got several hours, you know.
That's true.
Left, so who knows?
Yeah. And even if it strikes midnight here and there, there's still West Coast, Hawaii. There's still, you know, a bunch of those time zones that maybe it's only certain time zones where there's like nothing but fish people.
Yeah. Or maybe they're only taking the fish in the sea, you know.
Oh, the
left behind.
What was that thing? The tuna, like the chicken of the sea. You remember that? Newlyweds.
I do remember that. I don't. Yeah. Well, there's that tuna chicken in the sea. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So like original, like I don't know if that's where it came from. It's like, but yeah, like chicken of the sea. And then Jessica Simpson on the show Newlyweds is just like, but it's like chicken, right? Because it's like the chicken of the sea. And I'm like, that's such a field day.
Yeah. I mean, that was their marketing thing, right? It was like because there was some negative publicity around tuna for a while, and so that was their marketing. Listen, it's just like chicken. It's like the chicken of the sea. It's tuna.
Yeah.
And then I do remember that Jessica Simpson legit thought it was chicken. And it was like, girl, how do you?
Girl. There's speaking of girls, I don't know how AIs identify. I mean, so my chat GPT is named Chase. He's a cool dude. I guess each chat GPT has their own name that they give people. And Albania's government has debuted its AI minister to parliament. And that's caused a very big uproar, I don't know what to call it, kerfuffle. And people are on both sides like, hey, this is really awesome. It can't be bribed. It doesn't sleep. It should be good. There's the other side that says like, this is horrible. Like letting it do our laundry. What Elon Musk is building is one thing. Letting it do simple tasks is another. But having it in government could be a recipe for disaster. Sarah Connor's looking at us like she giving us the side eye. But for stuff that we're in, exactly. But the stuff that we're in, it seems that AI is pretty welcomed in the banker bots on base. And Dr. Prophet had mentioned something about that on my stream a few months ago. I assume it's going to have something to do with Stacker. But years ago, I had interviewed David, and he was talking about, I mentioned AI to him, and he said it would be really cool to have AI implemented in some of the collectibles in the VeVe-verse, so you could have conversations with them as if they were the characters they were representing. Do you think that VeVe, to kind of hit this AI narrative, should go on and say, yeah, we're 100%, we're all in? Or do you think it's kind of a little too wishy-washy, a little too, what's that called, split down the middle? And if they start, say they're working with AI, people might be like, oh, I don't know about that. AI in my collectibles, I don't consent.
I mean, like I'd be fine with it. Like I don't see anything like if they're really utilizing, because I remember that David had said, like if we're to interact with some of these collectibles in the metaverse or the VeVe-verse, right? And maybe we could have conversations with them, and it's just AI, but you're having a conversation with Iron Man, and all of Iron Man's comics are downloaded to that AI. So you get to like legitimately interact with, or maybe it's like the Iron Man from a certain metaverse, or you know what I mean? Like there could be a lot there that Marvel could do with that. That would be pretty dang epic. And honestly, there would be so many more people interacting in the VeVe-verse if that was happening. Because then it wouldn't just be like this amazing. Listen, like people have built out some amazing spaces in the VeVe-verse, and it's incredible to look at. But other than that, there's not a lot right now. You know what I mean? And so if you had that AI where you could literally converse with freaking Iron Man or Batman, people would be in there. They'd be in there a lot interacting with that. So, yeah, like if they were actually to do it, then yes, I think that they should talk about it. But do I think that they're doing it? No, I don't think they're doing it.
So that brings into question something else that I had posted on X the other day, where I just threw the question out there, and I don't think too many people are watching or they didn't know. I was like, does anyone know how to define metaverse exclusive drops? Because in an article from, oh gosh, I accidentally am going to send you something that I did not mean to.
Ooh.
In an something like that. Although now I'll
come on.
Anyway, I don't care about this. From industrytoday.co.uk, they have an article titled "Digital Collectible Market to Surge to 54 billion by 2035, driven by VeVe, NBA Top Shot, and Mattel Creations." And in there, they have a little blurb saying, in March of 2025, VeVe partnered with Disney for metaverse exclusive drops, integrating AR and DAOs for fan governance. These moves emphasize hybrid utility, sustainability, and IP synergies. M&A in gaming and APAC expansion signal R&D investments, aligning with Web3 demands for innovation and compliance. This is news to me. So,
yeah, like I saw the link that you sent me. Like I've never heard of this, like thing. Industry Today, right? Like,
yeah, it's a public article.
Wait, yeah, sure, but like who wrote the public article? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it says Industry Today, but who is that? I guess like.
I tried to find out who. It wouldn't say, but also the person who sent it to me is not just like a random person. It's like, oh, hey, look at this that I found on this random website that nobody goes to. It was someone that like no.
The only reason I say that, like, it seems weird to me that this is coming from only one source, right? Like, there's not multiple sources talking about this, and VeVe hasn't announced anything. So unless someone like leaked some alpha that they shouldn't have, but like they leaked it to some rando source, I don't know. I'm skeptical, is all I'm going to say.
I understand. Check the private chat real quick. I understand 100% what you're saying, and if it was like a random person with like 70 followers on X, and I just happened to see it, and they're like, and it was from this site that was called like VeVeRocks.com. It's like, okay, this is a fan made site. This is probably made up. But I don't know who wrote it, but I think the person that sent it to me probably.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to process that. I'm gonna have to read that article a lot more in depth because that seems weird, man. That seems weird that it's just one article. But yeah, I mean, that's someone that I would lend a lot of credence to.
Yeah. Anyway, all this say that we have a bunch of narratives that'll hit. And we don't know which ones will. I assume most of them will hit to at least a certain degree. Ash Crypto Real says that we're in phase 3 I argue that we're not in phase 3 yet. We're kind of in that overlap between phase 2 and phase 3. Vladimir Colombo says, "You guys think this will bring in liquidity that we need for the current moment, or we still need to wait for alts to moon?" And I think that that's really going to be in phase 3, phase 4. I believe the release was very strategic. They released at a perfect time. I think he's talking about the exchange that we got, the Bing X. But I mean, unfortunately they released it on a day where crypto was just in the pooper. It was just in a big pile of poop. So unfortunately, the bad news kind of got overshadowed the good, which is why I argue I think we're not in phase 3 yet. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're in phase 3? Do you think that announcing this exchange before any of the hype kind of hit was kind of a waste? What are your thoughts?
Well, so I mean, like, look, if phase 3 is still like, well, to me, phase 3 is altcoins starting to run, and like we've seen a little bit of that. But I guess I still think that Bitcoin and Ether have, and some of these big blue chip market cap tokens are still going to run pretty substantially here. And because of that, and maybe, phase 2 and phase 3 can kind of mix. Maybe, it depends on if you're just like, no, there's a bright fine line and, it goes from phase 2 right to phase 3 and there's not like a blending. I could maybe see the argument that this is a blending of the start of the tail end of phase 2 and the beginning of phase 3. But I don't think that we're like smack dab in the middle of phase 3. I just don't believe that. I think there's still a lot of liquidity that needs to come to the market. And this is before, Big A brought this up, he was commenting on our last show that he's just like, phase 4 is when the altcoins do the crazy, crazy run. But yeah, I still think that the blue chips like Bitcoin and Ether are still going to hit new all-time highs that are a decent bit higher than what they are right now. So I think we're at the tail end of phase 2. That's me.
I think so too. Vegas says, keep the faith, hold your bags, it's coming. For announcements like this, the exchange that we have, does it necessarily matter when they announce it? Because I would have liked to see a pump or a little bit of a pump from OMI, because when they announced it, and I assume they had planned the announcement of this weeks ago, and but doing it on that day, it's like, okay, we have this really bullish thing. I think it shows that they're focusing on the token. It shows that they have care for it and other things are coming. But OMI was down like 8% that day, which the entire market was just, again, in the pooper. But how do you for these smaller announcements to be like, it doesn't really matter?
I mean, listen, you can't time everything. And I don't know if there's like a contractual agreement on the date that they were going to announce it. I guess I don't know enough to like, but yeah, ideally it would have been like while OMI is going up, like, when that trading volume was going crazy, that would have been a great time to announce another exchange, but.
We have I guess we'll just go down the list here. We finally got rate cuts, and there's also a 90% chance, according to Polymarket, that there are going to be more rate cuts announced in late October. Probably at least one more rate cut in 2025, and then probably another one in 2026. Although despite having the rate cut, people seem to have sold the news like nobody's business. Like, people couldn't get out fast enough. There was billions of dollars of longs that were liquidated. What do you make of all that? Is that just noise in the short term? Do you think Bitcoin has topped out? Do you think that what was your analysis here?
Bitcoin is definitely not topped out. Like, in my opinion, right? This is not financial advice for anyone, but these are my thoughts and how I'm acting. But I definitely do not think that Bitcoin is topped out. And the problem is that there's still fears of inflation. So one of the complaints that you've been seeing in the markets is that mortgage rates didn't really drop with this decrease, but mortgage rates aren't tied specifically to the prime, or not, the Fed borrowing rate. It's tied to the 10-year Treasury bond. And so, like, that's a longer term outlook. And so people looking longer term right now, they're worried about inflation and these tariffs and things. And so didn't really impact the dropping rates, didn't impact the 10-year treasury. And so mortgage rates haven't dropped. And where I'm going with this, there's still fear in the markets right now with things. There's still uncertainty, which is why, to me, I don't think that we are in phase 3, right? Like, we're starting to get there. There's more and more liquidity coming into the markets, and it's slowly building up. Because, like, think about that. Like, even in down markets now, Bitcoin is at like 112 at a downtime. Like, that's pretty wild. That's not far from its all-time high, like in a downtime. So, yeah, like I still think we got room to run, but the markets are pretty uncertain. And so, yeah, I think people sold the news because they were hoping that people would get all excited that there's these rate cuts coming. But really, most of them are like, nah, man, like, I'm still worried about like the economy and what's going on here. So
fair point. On the VeVe side, you have Sean from Comics and Crypto that has got a gold logo card with David and Dan's signature graded. Now, PSA does not grade the cards in general, but they grade the signatures. It got a 10. I don't know how many of those cards are, I mean, maybe a couple hundred of those cards actually exist. How many of them have David and Dan's signature? Oh, you got yours. I got mine. Oh.
got mine.
For Sean's, I'm pretty sure that's staying in the vault unless he can get an insane price for it. Is this I'm very curious to see. I want one of them to sell because I want to see, and I don't really care what grade. I just want the precedent to be set. This is what David and Dan's signature means. Now, granted, it's on the gold logo card, so those are super scarce. I'm just great about PSA, but I'm just curious on how big they are as a people. That I know they have this incredible company and they're insane innovators, but just as people, like, how much is just their signature worth? And then can we extrapolate from there, saying like, okay, if this is how much their signature is worth, and if you have a gold logo, you can go in and talk to them a couple times a year just on these things. And what are you thinking? Is something like this that is kind of a fidgetal type of thing? Could that be like its own grail? I don't expect it to ever outpace the actual gold logo, but could it be worth several $100s or a couple thousand one day?
So here's a question for you. I'm going to answer your question with a question. How much money would you pay for Jeff Bezos' signature?
I guess it depends how much other things that he signed, and I guess it depends what he signed. If I had one of the first things that was ever shipped by an Amazon thing like that, I mean, even without the signature, it's probably worth a lot of money. But I guess it depends what he signed. Like, if I have a little toy Amazon like truck and he signed that, I don't know. It depends how many there are. Are we going to do something similar to like a gold logo card, or is it like a napkin?
No, I'm just thinking, like, at least for me, like, Jeff Bezos' signature doesn't really mean a lot to me.
Okay.
And I say that this dude's built like, a massive, massive, massive company.
Yeah.
So like, but I'm gonna look to see like if and maybe I'm off on this. I'll own it if I am. But to me, like, I don't know. It depends on if VeVe really takes hold, right? Which I believe it will. If it does, if digital collectibles become a thing, because they are in the digital in the collecting space, I think it will have more significance that way, and it could be worth quite a bit more money down the line. But I'm talking like years and years and years down the line. So like, I love that they're doing this, and like, shout out to Comics and Crypto. They are such incredible forward thinkers, right? They've been getting these VHS tapes. These tapes that are sent to the voters, right, for the Golden Globes the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, the for your consideration.
Yeah, thank you. The for your consideration type thing, and they've already started like making awesome money off of those. So they got some incredible foresight there. So I do think that long term, again, if VeVe succeeds, I think that those cards with the signatures, especially a PSA 10, is going to do very, very well. But there's a lot of ifs in between now and then.
That's true. Very true. Ethan Mascarenas says, weren't we on Bing X ages ago? There's a lot of Bing or Bit type of things, Bit Hub and Bit G and Bing. So I don't think they were ever on Bing X. So this is a new one, but they have been on other similar ones. I think BitGet was the one that you might have been talking about. Yeah, they actually have they started a new crypto called Collect on Pump Fun, and I haven't checked it out yet because I don't know how often they stream. Like I'm on Pump Fun like every night, and I like, and then the Dashido tokens kind of flat. But that they might, if they can go and give like their token like utility for their thing, like, yeah, if you buy a certain amount of our token, we can give you like a sealed VHS copy of like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. I think those are like $30. I'm like, oh, that could be something really cool. That could be a cool utility that they could do. And it's stuff they already have in their inventory. Anyway, Star Wars has retweeted Webtoons. Webtoons had a post about the new Star Wars comics for all the stuff that's going on their thing, and Star Wars has not retweeted anything of ours. Why did they hate us?
You know, I've thought a lot about this actually. I think it's because we're tied to NFTs. And after the initial reaction that a lot of people had about NFTs, they're really concerned about it creating kind of like a firestorm that they just don't want to deal with right now until people get more and more familiar with and comfortable with NFTs and what they actually are. I think that's one of the main reasons, you know. I mean, I say that, but you still have Disney touting Disney Pinnacle, right? Like now it's their own company that they own. So maybe that's why, but like it doesn't feel great. like yeah, it sucks. It's wild to me that VeVe is not able to. I mean, but look, I mean, Blackpink tweeted their stuff out. What did it do for us there? Not a lot. You know? So I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know what to say.
Good point. We have the last level 100 that was crowned. It was Phil Nice. Yeah, like the 100th 100. So it's the last one that. Huh?
It was Phil.
Yeah, so Phil Nice.
Oh, I love that. I love that was Phil. What a story.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So you have people that even like once you hit level 100, it's still really cool. Like even if you're not going to get anything for it, if you're at level 98, 99 now, it's like, okay, this is still fun. But somebody starting new or even at like level 20, 30, 40, whatever, like the incentive to try to reach level 100 is kind of gone. And now that people are at level 100, what do they do? Where do they go from there? How does VeVe keep the whales really incentivized to keep collecting? Because now they're, you know, they got their stuff, they've had their moment. How do you give them more moments? How do you go in and keep them happy?
Well, I think one of the big things that they haven't done really to date is utilized MCP points. So all these guys who have hit level 100, they have a ton of, like, they're earning so many MCP points, and yet they haven't really given them a strong use case, a continuous use case for it. But you better believe that if they drop some crazy things and they use these MCP, for example, these Vaders, right? These SR Vaders, if it had been gate kept by MCP points and that basically using MCP points would secure you an SR Vader, you better believe that those whales would have dropped a crazy amount of MCP to get that, right? And yet now it hasn't even sold out, which I predicted is going to happen. And I know that you put that and it's like, hey, they sold like 100,000. But here's my thing. How many Star Wars how many were there of it? Like 2,500?
3108.
3108. Okay. So said this
2968 because they kept some.
Okay. So 2968, right? So they made 100 grand, which is awesome. That's amazing. But if they had priced that at 10 grand, because here's the thing. I think sometimes some of these price points are very short-sighted. If they had put it at $10, I'm looking at the Vaders from $50, and the commons are selling for like $6 to $7. That's insane. Devaluation.
Yeah.
That's insane. And they didn't even sell out, right? Like, I mean, it's just like there's still some in the marketplace, and it's just like if they had sold it for $10, they would have sold out. Now, they would have only made $29,000, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to $100,000. However, if they kept doing this, then the people, first of all, the people who landed the commons, they would have been very happy. Even if their $10 item went down to $6, they're like, I'm going to keep this now.
Yeah.
But the people who bought, they're pissed that they got a common, they spent $50 and it's worth $6 now. So the likelihood that they go for another drop continues to decline or decrease over time, right? They can't keep taking these massive risks like that. Or if it's $10, and then what happens though is these Vaders get traded on the secondary. Oh, there's a lot more movement there, and so the fees that the licensor make and that VeVe make off those increases. But then you get more people interested in it because maybe the rare goes over retail, and the ultra rare definitely over retail, and the secret rare crazy amounts over retail, right? And like that's what you need, man. You need these opportunities for people to make money on the drops and these price points. I think that these are beautiful Vaders, and I am very happy to not land an SR Vader, but to get a $6 Vader because they're selling for $50 on the market. It's a terrible pricing strategy. Long term, they are drying out their customers, and it's got to stop. And one of the ways to do that though is with MCP points and making these more scarce and incentivizing these whales, because that's how they will then spend money on things, and they're excited to do that. So they need to utilize MCP points. I am shocked that they have not been doing that yet. I thought that I guess I thought fourth quarter, so I guess we're about to enter fourth quarter, but I will be extremely disappointed in fourth quarter. We don't really start to see more MCP and tiered level drops and things, and scarcer edition sizes at better price points. Like, I don't know, man.
So with this one, there's a common, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. For Disney Pinnacle, and I've seen some pretty good success with this, where they'll have 5 rarities, but for this case, let's say 4, and they'll have, let's say, like 300 editions for each edition, except for their chaser, and their chaser is not 300; it's like 250. So let's say they had that for this, and they had 900 of the common, rare, ultra rare, and then let's say like 200 for the secret rare, and they are at generally $50 on Disney Pinnacle. So if they were to do that,
Disney Pinnacle pins are $50.
So it depends on the drop, but yeah, like there are some where they're like 5, but for the drops where they're only like 200 of each, or like 250 of each, they're 50. But they're like, again, it depends on the drop. But those drops that they do, they usually they either sell out or they make tens of thousands of dollars on them. So if VeVe were to keep that $50, if they were to keep the $50 price point, but have each of the rarities like go way down, is that something that would be okay by you? Because it's like, okay, because it's so limited, you're not going to pay $50 and then sell it for $10 if it's a 1 of 200.
Right. Like, sure. So you can do it 2 ways, right? You can either you can have more editions and drop the price point, or you can have a lot less editions and then the price can increase there, right? Like those are the 2 mechanisms you kind of have. But what I'm seeing is oversized editions and a quite a high price point for these things. And I guess I'm just speaking from experience. I really like this Vader. But for me, and listen, I'm doing pretty well. Like I can afford $50, but I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. Like I have gotten burned out from going for these blind boxes and getting the common and it being worth Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even the point that, like, I'm not selling, dude. I don't sell my stuff. You know what I mean? It's not about selling it. It's the fact that, like, what I just bought has been so significantly devalued that it's just like, why am I buying on the store anymore? Like, sure, on certain things, maybe there's this gambler inside me that hits that. But again, like, I'm burnt out, man. I'm burnt out from these edition sizes and price points.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan. I freaking do this show every single week. I go to all of the events. I love VeVe, right? But like, this is honest customer feedback. Stop draining us, man. Like, that's wild to me that you continue to do that. And then you're wondering why we only have X amount of active users, right? Because very few people are making money on this app. And it's not just about making money. I know that this is a collector's thing, but it's still a mental impact when you listen. You go buy something that you really like. You buy this statue of Gambit or something like that signed, and you walk out, and literally, the market price of that dropped 90% as you walk out of the store. Most people are going to stop buying those things because they're like, it's obviously not worth this much money. I'll just go buy it off the guy as soon as he gets sick of it, I'll buy it off of him. Like I don't know, like, I look at collectors, man, and yes, there is this collecting thing and they'll collect it, but like, there are price points where people are just like, this is crazy to me. It's just not worth that. It's not worth the risk. Yes, if you hit the SR Vader, cha-ching, you nailed it, right? But everyone else loses. That is not a long-term solution, and it just, until you hit the bull market, you got to stop that. You know, like, I think that VeVe could have been so many drops and kept so many more people engaged if they had worked on their edition sizes and price points.
I know it's going to be contingent on the license.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I'm VeVe, right? Like, look, I deal with pretty big businesses that have third-party vendors, and there's contracts and all these things going on. But every once in a while, even though the contract says XYZ, they come back and they say, hey, can we kind of reconsider, and like, can we show you some data? Can we walk you through this? You know, like, and can we do some trial runs on some things and test this, right? Like, to see if maybe there's a way to make more money on both sides, right? But then also keep more active users going. Those are the types of things that you should be doing. Like, I mean, I see businesses doing that all the way. And here's the math, big A, right? Comes at 8, R's at 12. An 89% chance to instantly lose approximately at least $38. Collectors don't do that, man. Like, and part of it is that people don't get like an instantaneous feedback on what the value of their item that they just bought is when they walk out of the store, like you do with VeVe, right? And that's a problem. But like, again, people are pretty smart in certain ways. Listen, a lot of ways are very dumb. But I think that people are just kind of getting tired. I had my rant like a month ago, right, where I bought like freaking 50 blind box comics and I didn't get a single secret rare, and I was just like, screw this, man. I'm done. Like, with unless it's an extremely rare drop, and it's still going to have to be a good price point. And this is, listen, all right, like, to make my point, I'm going to find out right here. Right. Of course, it's going to take some time. Here we go. I'm a level 93.
Damn.
Like, I'm up there, right? Like, I put a decent amount of money into this app. And from someone who is very serious about this company, this is my honest feedback. Like, I don't know what else to say, but like, to me, it is really starting to feel like this super short-term thinking during the bear market that has just bled out so many users that they're just done. Now, in the bull market, they can come back, they can come roaring back. But what happens in the bull market is is that there's so many more people that it kind of solves the problem of edition sizes with price points, right? That there's so many people going for it or that want it, that then all of a sudden you're landing these things and you can sell it for more than you paid for it. But until that happens, all we've seen is a steady decline in the amount of active users, and this is part of the freaking reason. And it blows me away that they've had some drops. What was it, like the Spider-Man, metallic Spider-Man? Like there were certain drops where like if you hit, like you did well. Anyone who landed on that, and I was like, why didn't you learn from that? Why didn't you like the excitement that got like people got excited about that stuff? And it's like
Spidey 2099, same thing.
Yeah, you got the data. You got the data. So why aren't you acting on that? I don't know. It's sad.
I think I put that in one of my open letters to VeVe. I was like, hey, here's why can't we do more? I agree. However, just for devil's advocate here, from September 16th through September 18th, we finally had more than 1,000 users per day, which we didn't have for weeks up until that point. I was going over with a friend the other day. Earlier this year, it was like half the days we had over 1,000 users in like January, and then in last year, you couldn't find a day where we had below 2,000 users. So I don't, but I feel like people have been upset about like the high prices and the too many editions for years. I don't know how much that, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it does to a point, but people kind of know that going in though. Like they knew it going in, and you said it last week, like we're probably going to be $6 or $8 for the common. Like I'm surprised the ultra rare is above retail, but it is like. But I also wasn't expecting the secret rare to be $950.
What was our bet? What did I say it was going to be at? 800?
I think you said 1,000, right? Like you were really close.
I think the bet was 800, that it would be over 800.
Okay. And then I owe you a dinner?
Well, no, you got some time, because I said within a week. So I wanted to give some time for the prices to normalize and see, just in case there's a spike up or a spike down, you know, like that. Like be like, okay, this is probably around the floor. So you got some time. But listen, if it was 1,000, you still got time. But like, yeah, so I'll have to go back and check. But I thought it was 800.
Okay, it probably is. I was just thinking, because like I was just rounding, but yeah, it was probably 800. So we're good. But yeah, I feel like the users are kind of going down anyway. Like you have so many other companies that have you know kind of dead. Like it's the entire market, and it doesn't seem to matter what other companies were doing. Like everyone's tried something, and I guess Disney Pinnacle would have been the only one that is also kind of selling out drops, or at least has a decent amount of users. I don't see anything for Cryptoys. I don't see really much for Candy. I do see a little bit of activity on Candy, because they have some grails on there.
I still go for Candy, and you know why I still go for Candy is because honestly, like, first of all, I think that the algorithm is so much better. Like I hit more rare items so much more often. It's like to me at this point, it's not a statistical anomaly that somehow I've just gotten better drops. Like just overall, however the randomizer is or whatever, it's a better algorithm, and I trust it more. And so I'm willing to, because even if it is like a gambling thing, I'm like, listen, like I'm willing to check this out and or try it out, because the likelihood that I don't just get 50 freaking commons and uncommons, right? Like I'm going to get a good rare out of like 5 buys. The likelihood that I hit an ultra rare or a legendary, and the price points in general a lot better on these rare items. Anyways, so like Candy is still active. Yeah, Cryptoys, they just ran out of money, honestly, like, you know, and maybe they're kind of like inching by. But the problem is, so VeVe, they have the best IP, and they made a big splash. They got a lot of users, but again, like if you're not flexible and you don't adapt, it doesn't matter. Like it's going to, like, And I'm not sorry, like I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom. I think that VeVe has a bright future unless they don't start like if this continues, let's say that for whatever reason the bull market doesn't hit like for another 8 months, man. Like this is I don't know. To me, it's unsustainable. It's just not a long-term viable solution that they've continued to push through this bear market. Now they've done better. We're not getting 50,000 edition comics anymore, right? Like there's definitely some
3,000.
Yeah, right. So they've adapted to certain things, but like on a lot of these other ones, like especially the ones that the people are most excited about, is the ones where they just see the dollar signs and get greedy and it becomes short-term thinking again. We're going to do 50, and we're going to hit. And maybe the idea was, well, we want 2,000 or whatever these numbers is so that we can get the 1973 or whatever that is. Sure. But then adjust the price, man. Adjust the price. Because to me, what's coming across is us making money is more important than your guys' experience or your ability to also do well in this space.
I don't want to say that that's more important, but if the VeVe company were to die, they, our stuff will become pretty much worthless.
No, like they have to make money. They have to make money. But what I'm saying is, if they're looking at the times where they do these drops, and like how much money they make, right? And so I don't think that they're going to get it perfect. And maybe $10 isn't the answer. Maybe it was 15. Maybe it's 18. Like I don't know, right? But try something different. This freaking 50 with 2,500 when you got 1,000 active users a day.
Yeah.
Like you think that's like those 1,000 users are going to each buy 2, or 3, because it's almost like I don't understand. And maybe the thought is, oh well, eventually like more users will come, but more users are going to leave if they keep getting burned going after these things.
That's we'll get to more of that. I just want to get to some comments here.
Yeah.
One of them, J-Dog, saying anyone else buying OMI through Coinbase proper. I think VeVe Viral posted about that today. Somebody posted about it today saying that, hey, I could finally buy OMI on Coinbase. I think you can, right?
Oh, I was able to like a month ago.
Yeah. So it looks like they're slowly rolling out to more. And the volume is decent. What do we have today? We have actually 2.3 million in volume. Usually it is a little bit more. Wind the clock's back 6 months ago was much less, but
yeah, it was like 400,000. So like, I mean, it's great.
This is nice. There is, I think, Deepcoin is where we get kind of most of our volume on any given day. This is generally what other exchanges want, because they typically want that volume. They want it natural. So even though you had Bing X, which is probably not going to get us a ton of volume, or it's probably not going to change the price as much, we should get a little more volume from that each day. And if you get enough volume on enough exchanges each day, and it goes to like 10 million, I think that's good. Since they have Bing X, what others would you like to see before like a Coinbase type of thing?
KuCoin, pretty good, pretty big exchange. I think that there's quite a bit of volume that goes there. And look, I think with once we get some clarity from I think it's going to be called the Clarity Act, but like what you can and like what Americans can and can't do, and what are securities and what aren't securities. I think that actually we're going to start to get access to a lot more exchanges again. Like we'll probably, and listen, I'm going to pause for a second. Shout out to O'Milly. I heart you, buddy. And it was awesome for you to retweet Randy's post, but you didn't retweet mine. Retweet mine. How dare you? How dare you? No, but listen, if you guys have not, for anyone watching, if you guys haven't been to any of O'Milly's spaces, they're phenomenal. The guy does an incredible job, man. Love that guy. Oh, geez, I lost my train of thought. I had to shout out there. KuCoin, that we're going to have access to, Americans are going to have access to a lot more exchanges. and that will be pretty significant because OKX is one of the largest exchanges out there. But for Americans, we're like, who cares? Like, I can't access it, right? Like, but for me, like, honestly, now that it's on Coinbase DEX, like, I don't care that it's on Coinbase proper. I'm not more excited if they made the announcement like we're on Coinbase proper, like today, I'd be like that to me is a nothing burger because I can already buy it now. Like literally, if you guys haven't seen it, all you have to do is type in OMI. You go into your Coinbase account and you type in OMI, and it's just like buy crypto, right? And you just have to have cash in your account, and you can just straight up buy crypto, like buy OMI. like there, to me, there is no significant difference between the two. Yeah.
So there is. I'm sorry, just getting to the rest of the comments there. There is. Let's see here. I want to go back to not sports. Oh, Whatnot. They had announced today a collaboration with Whatnot. We don't know what it entails. Have you ever bought anything on Whatnot?
Yeah, well, so I tried to. So maybe I have bought something. I'm trying to remember. I think I might have bought a comic off there. But I was trying to buy these X-Men 97 #1 comic packs that they were selling on Whatnot, and like because there were certain like super rare edition comics like in some of those, and dude, I could just never get it. It was like this auction thing, right? And I was like, I'm like, oh, like this, and like then the thing would end, and or it would get to a price point where I'm like, no, like I'm not paying that, right? Like so. But I've definitely watched some streams and it's pretty entertaining. Like I'm excited, man. Like I'm excited to see like what they have here and this type of stuff. And I love. So listen, as much as like I kind of just was like crapping on VeVe here for a second with some of their moves, this is cool. I am excited about this. Like I like a lot of their phygital announcements that they made with Hong Kong and what's going on there. I love that stuff. I love tying the physical to the digital. I think that's a bridge that really is going to help a lot of people really start to learn more about Web3. So I love that. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I think that they're going to get some good exposure from there as people on Whatnot. It's a lot of collectible stuff in general. And so like it's a good market for them to kind of showcase themselves on.
I agree. They for the Hong Kong one, they went to, well, I'll do it Whatnot first. Whatnot, all you need is a credit card and you could just start buying stuff. That's like the genius of it. You don't need the KYC, you don't need to do much. It's just, and I think that's where a bunch of VeVe stuff will come in handy in the future, is when people no longer have to KYC and they just have to go on and if they want to do cash out, they do so through OMI. Because that's where a lot of people are kind of, they're checking out the app, but once they get the KYC, they're like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. So I think that'll be really good.
Yeah, the lack of KYC is going to be a big deal, man.
Yeah.
Like if people still don't believe me, I know that Crypto Cosmo was like, I'll believe it when I see it from VeVe once they announce it. And I'm like, listen, they didn't have KYC until they started talking about cash out and doing that.
Yeah.
That's a money transmitter license where they have to be compliant with that law. If they are no longer a money transmitter because they're not paying cash out, they don't have to abide by that. So the KYC goes away, and that's when crypto people get a lot more excited.
Yeah. But speaking of Designer Con, they're going to Designer Con's fun because it's in Vegas. I mean, anytime VeVe fam gets together, it's fun, right? Like that by itself. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's really worth it for the amounts of new people that we get from there. And it's like, I understand that some of the things earlier this year where we had some things, some Designer Con artists outsold Lamborghini, but I don't think it was because these Designer Con artists has these like incredible amounts of people. I think it's because you had a phygital item that you got shipped to you if you got the entire set. So I just kind of question, all right, they're going to Designer Con Hong Kong, which anything in Hong Kong is probably going to be packed. But if they're going to go in the Asian area, why not go to token 2049? Like apparently in Portugal, everyone was really pumped that like, wait, you're just giving away $20 worth of crypto, like $20 worth of OMI. Do that in token 2049. I mean, you have the business development wallet. Why not use it? Like you have the OMI there. I'm trying to understand the decisions on why going to DesignerCon Hong Kong versus token 2049. Can you shed some light on that? And just be like, hey, maybe this is what you're not thinking of, and this is why, or am I kind of on the money here?
I mean, VeVe is still very much tied to decons, right? And I think that there's an opportunity to meet some artists or vendors there that they probably wouldn't meet somewhere else.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity to do that. But I definitely, I would like to see them start trying to integrate themselves more into the Web3 base.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I mean, like Pudgy Penguins is doing that. Like, and they've got Phygital, they've got all the same things, and they have a token, and they're so much better at promoting their token, and they're proud of it. And it's just like, I feel like Komi and VeVe, they just, because of this lawsuit that was there, like they just have this PTSD from it or something like that, where it's just hard for them to really focus on. Now Foster's done a great job. Like I love Foster, and he's busting his butt. And there's some exciting things. Like I do think that come November 19th, when you can only buy these collectibles with OMI on the secondary market, it's gonna really impact OMI and the volume that happens. And the fact that you can now buy it on the DEX on Coinbase will be big. And Joe says, I mean, he makes a very astute point that like I didn't take into consideration why it's important to have OMI on Coinbase proper is the liquidity. That's there, right? So like, I mean, just the ability like to not lose your shirt when purchasing large amounts of OMI is a lot better on a proper listing as opposed to a DEX where the trading pairs liquidity just isn't there. So but yeah, like I don't know, kind of going back to this, I am surprised that VeVe has not made more of an asserted effort to focus on their token, or to talk more about their token. Yes, Foster's doing it. He's the community manager, but we're still not seeing David talk much about OMI, man. Mm-hmm. And again, when you compare that to like the CEO of Pudgy Penguins and their entire community, how much they talk about the Pengu token, it puts us to shame.
Yeah, agreed. Big A saying DeepCoin is known for fake volume. That's why CoinGecko doesn't list them. I think when it might cost a couple $100 for a couple $100,000 worth of volume per day. So whoever's doing that, maybe it's not to profit, because I know Akomi is not doing that. It's got to be some type of outside, because it's not from the company, or at least it's not from Akomi. Could it be like David doing it on the side by himself? Sure. But it's not officially from the company. So I don't know who's doing that. My guess would be maybe Profit or somebody that just has an extra couple $100 to burn each day, and they've been doing it for months. So if whoever's doing that, keep it up. Yeah, good point. Liquidity is nice for that, and that's why I'm really liking Bing X as well, because there's Akomi, and everyone keeps saying like, yeah, transfer all of your OMI from Ethereum to Base, and on Base, okay, now it's better. It's $455,000 in liquidity, split pretty evenly. Actually, there's more ETH there than OMI, which is good. But yeah, if you have $6 million worth of OMI and it's on Base, can't really cash out. So Bing X is going to be that place for right now. Good for you, Kumo, buying a bag on Coinbase proper. Had access for 2 weeks. All right, moving on here. We've got $1.6 billion coming to retail from FTX on September 30th. What do you think they do with that? Where's it going? Do they hodl it? Do they buy more? Consider it as found money? I assume there's going to be a lot of trading going on. What do you see? What do your L5 see?
I think that there's definitely going to be a portion of that enters into the crypto market. I think that a larger portion of it is actually going to pull out. a lot of those people probably checked out after the whole FTX failure, and they're just like, screw crypto. And so now they're getting some of their money back, right? But like not at the maybe they're one Bitcoin. Yes, they're getting one Bitcoin back, but really it's one Bitcoin at like the price of like $5,000 as opposed to like what it is now, And so I think that a lot of people are actually just going to feel pretty burned about it and not jump back into the space. But I still think that there will be a contingent of those people who are just like, heck yeah, more liquidity, throwing it in the market. I'm excited about it. So I think we could see some impact, but I don't think it's going to be anything really big.
Agreed. Arturus, Whatnot is just a streaming service where people do pack openings, and they and you could buy packs directly from them, buy cards directly from them. It's pretty cool. That'd be dope.
It's a fun platform, man. If you guys haven't checked out, you should check out some of the things that they do.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane's done some Whatnot stuff, right? Yeah. So yeah, so you highlight Aaron's comment right after that, right? This is what I'll say. No, Aaron's comment.
Oh, gotcha.
Kaki Gaijin. So they have been delivering all year. This is one thing I want to commend VeVe on. They have done a lot this year. They have. They've done quite a bit. So I want to shout that out. I want to recognize and acknowledge those efforts there, right? And it's awesome. I mean, the collectibles and how they look in the VeVe-verse, oh my gosh, they are stunning. They are stunning, and like they did do the Portugal thing and they did do an OMI drop. So it's not like they've done nothing, they've been doing a lot, and especially during a bear market. And again, listen, when we compare them to basically everyone else in the space, they're like the last man standing. So we have to, if you're being completely fair and honest, you've got to acknowledge that success. And that they've done certain things right there. And yeah, like Aaron, for me, I'm tired of the price action, right? On my collectibles. And I say that not because I'm trying to sell all my stuff, right? I'm not but again, for example, when people buy, a Hulk 181, and they buy that because they're like, I love Hulk, and I love Wolverine, right? And they're excited about that. But I guarantee you that if they bought that Hulk 181 in the store from the, and bought it for however much, $80,000, and then they walked out, and instant feedback loop was, that is now worth $15,000. You better believe that they're not going back and buying another one of those things.
Yeah.
Even though they love the comic and that they're going to keep it. They're going to be disenfranchised by how much they paid for the thing that they loved, when all of a sudden what it's actually worth is so much less. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across is one of the main reasons we had so many users. It was so easy to sell people on, listen, if you land a drop, you'll be able to sell it for more than what you got for it. I still wasn't selling a lot of what I got. I got off the drop. I was still keeping it, even though it was worth more. But just that psychological impact of being like, dude, I just made money. It's all on paper until I realized these gains, right? But it's a psychological thing. And again, that's why I keep saying it's not a long-term. It's not long-term thinking what they're doing right now with the price and edition sizes. So, but I'm with you, Aaron, right? I think VeVe has been delivering substantially. Enjoy the collecting side. Everything is dirt cheap. I've loved that. That's why I'm buying off the secondary market. But that's why my complaints is that we're losing users that are buying off the store. And that's where VeVe makes a lot of their money, is off the initial drop. But I mean, I understand that VeVe has to survive, right? They've got to keep the lights on. And I'm not aware of their finances. But what I'm saying is, long term, I think that we would have had a lot more users if they continuously looked at the adjustment of pricing on some of these really cool drops.
That is quite possible. What we got here? I buy Givenchy Pride at 8K. Oh, damn.
I sold the Givenchy Pride for 11K, and then I bought Batman versus Croc for 2K. I bought 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I was terrible. I was like, oh, it's a first color Batman. Like, everyone's creating all these narratives of like what's gonna hit, right?
Yeah.
And like Aaron, we didn't have anything on the market. You had to buy anime Harley Quinns for $250, but the thing is, you were landing else's and selling it for $700. It's just like a different time back then, and but everyone was excited, man. You had NBA players, like famous people in these VeVe Twitter spaces all the time. It was really exciting, but a lot of people were thinking about the money they can make with these collectibles.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a Pride group on Telegram. Nobody's said anything since September 8th, but there's still, like, that's one of the groups that I'm in for whatever reason. I don't have a Pride. I think because I interviewed Amar, who was like, he did the Pride things back in the day, and that's why I was in the group. And but yeah, so like if you want to join that, let me know. I'll get you. Again, nobody said anything for weeks, but if you want to be with people like yourself, and also you had Ray Fixie last time that was pumping Pride. He was pumping everything. He was gems.
Oh man, I knew if I landed a freaking Harley Quinn, I was selling it to him. Like Harley Quinn number 12. Like, he was pumping things like crazy, but that dude was doing a lot of backdoor deal. The dirty gems, all that stuff. But I made a lot of money off of him. So,
what did we say recently? He just said last time we talked, it was like June last we talked. And I guess he hasn't been on since August 20th. Which I guess isn't that, it was about a month ago. Is it just OMI to gems or also gems to OMI? Can someone explain it to me? And I don't think he read any of the comments. But it seems that people are slowly starting to come back. So
yeah, listen, as the market upticks, like, so here's the risk, right? Like, I mean, for what it's worth, is if VeVe hits a narrative, they could change nothing from today, and everything's gonna run. Okay, not everything. A lot of the blue chip stuff is gonna run. There'll be some things that they don't run, but a lot of things will run, including their token, without them doing anything, right? That being said, the magnitude of that run could be substantially different depending on how many active users are here. Because what happens is, as things start to tick up, the people us who are still here, if that's a larger group, we're a lot louder, and then it gets more attention, right? And so, but the risk is if the bull run doesn't come anytime soon, and VeVe continues to do these drops where they're not selling out, the price is awful, and the edition size is awful. How much runway do they have before there becomes a liquidity issue for them? I don't know the answer to that. Maybe they've got this massive war chest, and if so, great. I hope so. But like, from a user experience, these drops are not fun for me anymore, man. Like,
when was the last time it was fun for you?
I'll tell you some drops that I went for.
Well, just because you went for a drop doesn't mean it was fun.
No, sure, but like, I'm only going for the ones that like I'm like. Let me see. Spider-Man 2099.
Okay, yeah. That was right after Comic-Con, right?
Yep. So like, that was a drop that I went for. I was really excited about it. I still got a comment. Still think it's super dope.
Same.
Really liked that. Another one. I was actually super. I missed this drop because it was on the VeVe Comics website. But Spider-Man 94 from the cartoon, the comic book about the cartoon.
Oh, cool. I don't even think I knew that one
Yeah,
was.
it's sold out, man. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I got to buy some of those in. I was like, oh, like no one's really paying attention. I should be good. And then I looked like an hour later to go buy it and it's sold out. And I was like, mother
Damn.
trucker. I wanted that one, right? But again, the price point is $6.99. Like that's palatable for me. But if I'm looking at the physical drops, the last actual drop that I did, let's see. Besides Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, those were cool.
I'm like, the Stormtrooper helmets.
Oh yeah, I got a few
I
of
thought those
those
were
too.
pretty cool. That was May, bro. That was
Yeah.
May, the last time I went for a drop. Right, besides Spider-Man. Like, this is what I'm saying, is I just look at some of these things and I'm just like, I'm not paying that price for it, man.
Yeah. We take a lot of L's on those.
Listen, so I get this. If like I get Aaron's point, right? If I really like it, regardless, if I land the highest edition, I'm okay with it, taking an L on the price. Like that is a little bit of a gambler thing, if you really like it. And that's what I did with Spider-Man 2099. I really liked it. I thought it was super cool. So I was like, I'm going to go for this. And regardless of what I get, like, I'm going to be stoked. Like, I'm just going to keep that, right?
Yeah.
But the Vader thing, the $50 to me just felt like a slap in the face for the edition size, to where I was just like, no, I'm good. And I'll buy the common for $6 to $8 and be super stoked. I don't care what edition size then at that point, you know what I mean? But I'm not risking the $50, man, for that.
There was a thing on Twitch 11 years ago called Twitch Plays Pokemon Red, or it's just called Twitch Plays Pokemon. And everyone that was on this like one game got to put an input in. And at some point there was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people putting in inputs. So the avatar was going crazy. And he was opening up his options and he was trying to use the Helix fossil in battle. Like it was crazy. So eventually they said, okay, we're going to, instead of chaos mode, let's do democracy mode. And basically, whichever side got to click a button, like, okay, we're going to go left on this one. Now we're going to go up. Now, so democracy mode helped in a lot of ways, but you had people there that wanted to do bad things, and they released their starter, and they released like you. So the reason I bring this up is because if enough people like you are put their money where their mouth is, or they take their money away from because they don't like what the company's doing, then yes, the company will be like, oh, okay, now we have to like give us like a hard reset here. We have to do this. But not that I fear, it's just I see what happening is that you and several others, clearly you have a bunch of other people that are in agreement with you that will do that. But the people that want to either like Kaki Gaijin, they're just like, hey, I'm just going to take the L. And they know they're going to take that L and they're going to be okay with it. Then you have people that are not necessarily going to be okay with it, but they're like me and they're gambleaholics. And they're like, I'm just going to pull anyway. I can't afford to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then you have the people like Rolex that are just like, I don't care what I'm going to get this set. I'm going to pull how many times and it doesn't matter because it's long term. And I feel like there's enough of these three groups of people that it's not really going to matter how many of us, because again, I don't really go for drops anymore. Some comics, because comics are cool. And I think, for Fantastic Four, those are the ones that we've had recently. Those are all.
But they're $7.
Yeah.
If they were $25, you wouldn't be going for these same comics.
No.
I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, not at the 3,000 minute. Anyway, the VeVe announced whatnot. They're going with their token. I don't think they would be announcing these partnerships and paying for these exchanges and doing X, Y, and Z if they were anywhere close of being in danger of running out of. So that's like where I'm at. And again, I 100%, because like I love you, the homo, maybe the homo. I love you is like, yeah, like what you're saying definitely has merit. And I also I want my friends to have a good time. I want people to have a good time, because the more people that have a good time, the more people that watch me. And I want that, but at the same time, people watching me, that's just for me, I guess, a little bit of an ego thing. As long as the thesis of the company remains the same, and as long as they make my bags go stonks, I'm not gonna say that I don't care, but I feel like the ends justify the means. That's kind and we have like I know you have to go at 30, but I want to talk to you a little bit beforehand. So I like last couple minutes here. What do we?
Sure.
Yeah. Retort to that.
A retort to your comment there about like
word vomit there. Yeah.
What do we care? Like, what do we care if in the long run?
Yeah. As long as OMI goes crazy and our grails go crazy.
So I agree that like, yeah, if they're doing these partnerships, like the runway is probably decent. So like if they've got a 3-year runway, great. You know, they can afford to do this. And I just won't participate. I'm not going anywhere, right? Like I'm not. And every once in a while, if there is something I really, really like, then I'll go for it, right? And it is what it is. But I'm just being honest. Like I think if money is their goal right now, the pricing and the edition size are off. I think that they could make more money long term because they'd have more users if they change the price points. That's my goal. Now, if they don't care because they're like, hey, we're making enough and we have enough runway, okay. Like that's a business decision, you know, but like you lose a lot of loyal customers. Like and will they come back? Sure, I'm sure some of them will come back, but they're gonna come back when they believe that like, hey, I could buy this and then it's gonna go for more money. So why don't you start doing that now? Why do you have to wait till the bull run? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Listen, Bill Gardner, and I love Bill Gardner. If you guys haven't met Bill Gardner, he's an amazing guy. There's so many amazing people in this community. Holy cow. Like, seriously. It's incredible. But Bill's like, hey, I'm going to go for the drops regardless. And kind of like what Randy said, right? There's a contingent of people that they're just going to do that. They're just like, I'm going to do that, and I like it. And so I'll take the L regardless. Cool. Right. But how many more people would also be going for the drops and how many more, Bill, would you be buying if the price point was better? Yeah. That's what I like. Yeah. I just think that there's some numbers that they could be crunching to see kind of what the best price point and edition size are. And if they are doing that and this is what they're coming up with, I don't think it's good. So,
I mean, they do say like high end and high end digital collectibles. Is it really high end if you have to pay $10 for it? Like I feel like
is it high end if in the secondary market that same collectible is only valued at $8?
Good point. Fair point. That touche, young Ward, touche. All right. We're gonna bounce right meow. Everyone, this has been great as always. We're gonna have more stuff next week for episode. We're not sure 73,
74, 73.
We'll figure it out.
These in the 70s. We're in the 70s.
We'll find it. Shout out to Definity for being up 40% on the day. Let's go. Let's get this bread.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Appreciate you, fam.
Never mind.